Hey everybody, it is me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And as you can tell by the not so great lighting in the backdrop, that I'm in Glendale right now. So I got some equipment to sort of make the show look a little bit better, but it's going to take a little bit more work in Las Vegas. I tried doing it tonight; it didn't come out that great. So you know that I like to just speak my mind for a good 10 minutes and that's it. So it's not that it requires a lot of editing and stuff, but like I got a set up. You'll see when I get it done, but just know that I've got it and I'm working on it, but it's going to take a little bit more work, unfortunately. Although, you know what I have discovered? Apple Music. Now, listen, I've had iTunes forever, but I'm not going to lie. I'm old, so I have been very reluctant to jump on the MP3 bandwagon. I was all about cassettes, and I was all about CDs. In fact, I love CDs. I still love CDs, but, no one really plays CDs anymore. It's all MP3s. So I'm actually starting to build a playlist, and it's a kind of interesting that I'm building my playlist right as I'm getting back into pole dancing, because I had like a list of, I have these creative ideas for numbers that you can do, like basically competition pieces, right? And I have a whole bunch that I want to do, and I've started kind of keeping those songs in a playlist, and it's great. And not just that, here's another thing too. So when I came out here last night, I was coming from Vegas, and it was clear up until I got to the Cajon Pass, and then it was like pouring down rain, which is like the most dangerous part of the drive to have rain come down on. So I was like scared shitless, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. And not just that, but when I got home, I was too exhausted to do anything. I was just like, because I was exhausted. I tried staying up at least to just watch Vanderpump Rules, but I didn't get to finish it. So I watched the whole thing over again today. So here's the thing about Vanderpump Rules, which is, anyways, I also meant to say, when I come out here, there's, right when you leave Prim and you go up the hill, just outside of Prim, you don't have any cell service. So if you're listening to Pandora or YouTube music, then you cannot, and there's no radio stations, you either have to be listening to a CD or nothing, because there's no, in my car, it's a 14-year-old car, 226,000 miles. But you know what? That bitch runs exactly like it did when I drove her off the lot, because I take very meticulous care of my car. Every 5,000 miles, I go right back to the dealer to get it serviced, and I always take really good care of that car. So now I can play my Apple Music when I'm going up that hill, so then I'm not like, bored or tired or whatever. It's great. I love it. I don't know why that, and I know I'm really late to that game, but better late than pregnant, right? Right. Okay, so Vanderpump Rules. Let's talk about Vanderpump Rules. First of all, I know I say this every week. It's like kind of like how when I do my Bold and the Beautiful Sudsy recaps, I'm like, I love Bold and the Beautiful, right? Although lately I kind of haven't been saying that, but I mean, I love all the shows. Days is my favorite, but I got some things I need to talk about during the Days update. In 2 updates from now, I have some stuff I want to bring up about Days, which is a little bit disconcerting. It's not disconcerting. It's just sad, and we'll talk about it then. Okay, so back to Vanderpump Rules. So Vanderpump Rules this week, I have to get, this week. Okay, so this week, a whole bunch of people went to, I was saying how I say it every week. I always say it every week. I fucking love Lisa Vanderpump. And I love her the best on Vanderpump Rules. And I've kind of figured out why. On that show, she's both a boss and a mother figure to all of these people at SUR. So she lets them know that, you have fucked up and you're fired, or, you know what I'm saying? She fired Kristen, right? She has no problem, and so some people are intimidated by her, but she's very maternal and caring to people at the same time. And knowing about, like, I don't know, I think she's fantastic, though. I really do. I love her to death. Anyway, so she did Stassi's podcast. And first of all, I got to give props to Miss Stassi for having a podcast. I think she's great. Both Stassi and Brandy Glanville both are very good at their podcast. So I wanted to kind of give them a shout out because I think they're doing a really good job, and you should check them out if you like to listen to podcasts. I think that those are probably two of the more interesting ones. Okay, so I won't even get into the ones I don't think are interesting because I could give a whole list of people that really should not have podcasts ever. Okay, so she was Lisa Vanderpump was like, I'm really sort of she was in her confessional, she was like, I'm really sort of impressed with Stassi. She's been doing a very professional job. And then Stassi asked the question, okay, so the last thing is, would you rather swim through a pool of dead bodies or poop? And then the confessional goes out to Lisa, and she's like, until this moment. Oh, my God. She's like, God, I guess poop, I guess. I mean, it was... But she answered the question fierce. That's fierce. I love it. I thought it was great. So, okay. Moving on to Sheena. So Sheena and Rob have this very... Well, okay. So Rob has this... guest house, summer house, I don't know, it's a different residence. He's got a vacation home, that's what it's called. He's got a vacation home in Big Bear, California. So they all went up to Big Bear, which is like 8,000 feet elevation. So they go to Big Bear, and it's Sheena, Rob, Brittany, Jax, Tom, Ariana, James, Raquel, and Lala. Lala's the only one that really isn't like, her man, does not want to be on camera. So, okay, whatever, fine. Now, James and Lala have this weird sort of relationship, It's not like a relationship, but like the way that they interact is sort of weird. And you know what? I have to give Miss Raquel credit this week because she stood up and she confronted Lala, but she did it in a very nice way because she is a sweet girl. And she was like, the way that you guys interact is very different than the way you interact with everyone else, both of you, and it's not, I don't think that you would ever come for my man, because we'll get to that in a second, but I feel like he was more tempted to cross the line with you, and, I think that was keeping it very real, And to be perfectly honest, I wasn't really expecting that from Raquel, but I loved it. And even Lala was like, you know what? If I was you and I felt like another chick was getting too close to my man, I would tell them to step off too. So I have mad respect for you for that. Love it. I love that. That's fantastic. And here's what I like about that she was pretty nice, but she was kind of firm and got her point across to Lala. And you know what? And in all fairness, Lala brought it up to James at the pool. Hot tub. She's like, your girl had a talk with me about our relationship. So, what's going on with that? Like, what is going on with you? So then they were, sort of dealing with his feelings because he told Lala, I loved you. I'm in love with you. And they're like, oh my God. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And apparently next week they're having some big fight or whatever. Yeah, I know, big surprise. Let me put on my surprise face. Okay. But I like that Raquel was very she was friendly. I mean, she was a very mature, because let's be real, if it was Stassi or Katie or Kristen or maybe even Sheena, they would have ripped Lala to shreds. In fact, Katie did, now that I think about it, Katie did rip Lala to shreds for being topless around her man, which last season, which she did They showed a clip of that this season. They reminded us of that. And then she also called her a whore. Like, I mean, like, she was kind of really vicious to Lala. And Raquel was very respectful. So, you know, mad props. This week, the mad props go out to Raquel. So she did a really, she was really great. So Jax, oh God, Jax, he's going through some midlife crisis, and because he's turning 40 soon, and he, you know, he's like, I don't have a college degree. Now listen, if anyone understands having insecurity about not having a college degree, it's me. I do. Because I am in an industry that it's expected of almost everyone to have a college degree. And if I want to start getting higher paying jobs, I have to have one. But I don't have one. So I always feel like I'm not good enough, ever. Even though I'm starting to sort of get my swag back and take back a little bit more power, because, well, that's just going into work. I'm not going to go into work drama, but we'll see what happens next week. We'll see how that works out. I'm not quite sure, but we'll find out. I'll let you know if it's really dramatic. It might be. I don't know. So anyways, so Jax, you know, now he's got this, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, blah, blah, blah. Well, first of all, I want to know what happened to, like, because all these people on Vanderpump Rules, they do all work at SUR. They do. They really do. Except for, like, Tom Schwartz, Kristen, and Stassi. But, like, all the others, they all work at SUR. Okay. Oh, my God. Lisa Vanderpump was absolutely fucking hilarious, though. She was talking with Billy Lee, who is the transgender hostess, and she was talking about how she went to Thailand to get her vagina, and how the doctor did such a good job, and she loves her vagina. And Lisa Vanderpump was just perplexed by the whole conversation. She was like, is there different vaginas? And she's like, oh my God, some look way better than others. And Lisa Vanderpump, in her confessional, was like, I suppose I need a catalog of vaginas sent to me. So, I mean, she's so damn funny. She is really funny. She's hilarious. Okay, so Jax is like, he's like, I gotta, you know, and he's put on a little weight, but you know what? He's close to 40. He's not that much younger than me. He's only like 5 years younger than me. Excuse me. So, you know, I understand. I mean, I get being insecure about and I get putting on a little weight, because I put on a little weight since, you know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm a little bit heavier. Not that much, but still a little bit. I'm a little bit thicker, and it's a little bit more difficult as I get older to maintain any muscle tone. It's kind of hard. Although pole dancing is making it a lot easier. But I'm still having issues with my midsection, you know, with the strength, but we'll get there. We'll get the baby steps, baby steps. My arms and shoulders are actually looking fucking great. So, anyway, and so is my ass. I was a little concerned because I have a great ass. I don't want to be conceited. But I will say that my ass is definitely a selling point. And any guy that I have been with can vouch for that. It's nice. We'll just put it that way. It's nice. But, you know, it was starting to get a little bit flat. Not flabby, but a little flat. And now it's getting nice and round again. You know, it's getting a little more bubblish, and I like that. And it's not like I'm, like, parading it around for anybody, but, you know, sometimes I just like to, I like to feel good for myself. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Anyways. So Jax is now all about this fitness life, right? So he goes running 3 miles an hour every single day. Well, to this time, he goes running, and he literally goes like half of 1 mile, and he thought he was going to die. And it was because of the elevation. Now, the elevation doesn't actually bother me that much, because I'm Native, and a lot of Native Americans have a greater lung capacity, so you would have to be really high up to be affected by altitude. 8,000 feet would not really affect me that much, but I know that, like, other folks, it's difficult. So I get that, right? So he gets winded. Totally understandable. Because if you're a little bit heavier and you go running and you're 8,000 feet up, you're going to have a difficult time. I totally get it. But then later that same day, like not even like hours later, like right afterwards, he comes back and then he goes swimming in the lake, Big Bear Lake, and he goes towards this buoy, which is way out there. And Rob was like, you got to just go slow. You can do it, but just go slow, okay? You'll die. And then he comes back, and then he starts screaming for the lifeguard to come save him, so the lifeguard jumps in and saves him. And then the rest of the episode, he keeps saying, oh, I almost died. Oh, my God, I almost died. Now, here's the thing. First of all, he's kind of an idiot a little bit for even doing the swim at all after that run that he almost conked out on. And second of all, it was a little bit melodramatic. I get mentioning it once, maybe twice, but like legit he mentioned it a lot. And what's funny is that, we found out that Rob has never said I love you to Sheena. And, he told that to Tom and Jax, and it was on camera. So we saw that he said that. And so Jax ends up telling Kristen, and whatever, Rob never said this is a secret, right? Or at least we didn't see it on camera. And she tells Sheena, and Sheena is like, goes instant denial mode. Rob loves me. What do you mean? Of course he says he loves you. Oh, that's ridiculous. Really? Because we just have him on camera saying he has never said I love you because he doesn't like to bandy those words around. I'm just saying. So, it's not looking too good for Sheena, to be real honest with you. I'm just going to throw that out there. And next week, apparently, there's some big mess happening in Las Vegas, which is funny because that's where I live, and I haven't heard anything. And there's also some issue between James and Lala that I mentioned earlier. So, anyways, this has gone on way too long. I know, my God, 17 minutes. It's crazy. Thank you so much for... Thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Pump Rules to talk about Vanderpump Rules, or you can also hashtag All Stars 3 to talk about All Stars 3. And that episode was everything. It was... I'm still shook by it. I can't wait to talk about it because it's a little bit crazy. Anyways, and you can also look around, and I had a request for part 2 of Storytime with Angel Benton. You can look around that channel, and you can find that where I tell stories of my life. And remember, the Storytime series is different than the Sudsy Recap. Sudsy Recap I do practically every day. I'm averaging one a day. But the Storytime is once every other month. And every third month, oh my God, I totally just spit on myself. So sick. Every third month is going to be in Japanese. So, because I need to practice my Japanese in a big way. Anyways, thank you so much for logging on. Have a wonderful night. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.